Hey everybody, Spicy Ricey's back here again. So, I was thinking today, and I've been reading a lot recently about marriage. So, I myself am not a married man. Not yet, at least. But I hear a lot of people say that the reason that they're not married is because of the government, because of their finances, because of blah blah blah, XYZ. It doesn't matter. You put in the blank, you fill it in. And I gotta say, it disheartens me to see people that make up excuses for not getting married because either they've been emotionally hurt by somebody, they just don't want to get married and they're afraid to admit it and just not have a reason, or they do not feel like they want to get involved in the commitment that is marriage. Because marriage is not an institute of the government. To say that you don't want to do it because the government's too hard on you, if you love somebody enough, you would get married to them. God established marriage in the first chapters of the Bible. It is one of his principal core foundations. This is not a game to play. Love is not a game. The reason that I think that marriage is so lost today, why there are so many divorces, why there are so many breakups, is because society, which is ruled by the prince of this age, which is Satan, has convinced people that they should be lovers of themselves and nothing more. Because really what loving yourself is destruction. If you love yourself, it eventually culminates in destruction, because a life without limits, a life without limitations, is by no means a life that is well lived. It is merely a life that is off the rails, destructive, completely abrasive to everything. So if you want to know why, it starts with people that love themselves. And then it goes to people that don't know how to love others. And then it goes to people that abuse others and use others for their purposes. And then that leads to breakups, that leads to broken relationships, and that leads to insecurity and trust issues. So if you have a problem with marriage, that's perfectly fine. But I would be very cautious as Christians to try to make it a question of the government or a question of whatever, when God has made it clear that the reason of marriage, the reasoning behind marriage, is God-oriented, God-designed. It is no different than the human psyche, the human body, creation itself. God has instituted it. So remember that marriage is something that God enjoys, that he loves to see in its proper context. But we need to be able to admit when sometimes it's not a problem with marriage, it's a problem with ourselves. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.